Market conditions remaining bullish in this bull market, currently seeing a bull market rank of 25.56 at the upper end of this range. As we've been discussing now for several months, that momentum is slowing at the upper end of the range here, although we are continuing to see price pushing back to these upper levels. Momentum in the bullish trending zone, also continue to see breadth in that bullish trending zone, and sentiment at the extreme end of that upper range, that complacency range, and creating some additional divergence right there. Let's see how buy-sell ratio has been looking the last day or two. We're seeing it pull back here at 1.51, so we've seen a little bit of a peak right here in this width of the buy-sell ratio as they're working their way back together again, although bulls still in control with green above red in the current market condition. If we look at the overall indices and S&P 500, we've talked about this breakout pattern here and looking for any kind of retracement to pull back into that 560 range. Looks like futures may be gapping open a little bit higher here this morning, but lots of indecision days on these candlesticks happening right here, but no real selling, no real buying, just some indecision happening at these levels, although still with a bullish overall bias to it. We're seeing sectors continuing to be strong, a few weakening areas. We've seen real estate pull back just a little bit right here, but we're still, for the most part, the majority in those uptrends and in those buy zones. We're seeing commodities continuing to do really well. We've seen silver kind of take over the leadership group and having a big day 2 days ago, a little bit of a pause yesterday, but watch for silver as it's potentially breaking out here. Gold did have its breakout back here at 233 and continuing to have some really nice momentum now as it pulled out, broke out, retraced, and is continuing this range. Remember that we are pushing that extreme area. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to reverse entirely, but it just means that it can have an area now up above that 236 where it could have some volatility. This is that acceptable trend zone for a stock that, or an ETF, or an index, or a commodity, anything really that's trending, particularly or typically stays above that 236 area. So watch for any kind of a pullback here in GLD, and we're seeing USO continue to have weakness as it's pulling back here that 71 range and finding resistance at each of these levels. Now, each of those areas are going to become resistance for USO as it tries to rally. Muscle Stocks Group, we're seeing some interesting names here as well. RNA, which is in the medical biotech space, nice confirmation bar and increasing volume. One to consider there as well for the day. And the second stock to consider is Redwire RDW, which is in the aerospace sector. Not quite into the momentum zone, some resistance right there, but a good confirmation bar, increasing volume, and starting to see some reversal out of that non-trending zone. Remember that these areas, once we get from yellow and red, these are really non-trending, these are downtrending, so we could see it started to see reversal back in RDW. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.